Watch what bread does to your diet goals.
Remind you about whole wheat bread. It's not healthy. It's packed with gluten and phytic acid, both dangerous anti-nutrients. Bell peppers, they belong to the nightshade family. Bad news. Stay away. Ketchup is not a condiment. It's a sugar grenade. Plus, it's pumped full of preservatives your gut bacteria hate.
But real talk, what actually happens when I eat this?
Here's the short version. Your gut lining can start to weaken. Tight junctions can start to loosen. And suddenly, unwanted particles might be contaminating your bloodstream.
And this is why I get fatigued during the day?
Yes, but not only. Bloating, skin breakouts, stubborn weight that won't budge. It's all linked to the weak gut lining. Heartburn is actually caused not by stomach acid. There has to be a certain amount of acid in your small intestine to keep bad bugs that live down in your colon where they live. People who take antacids, they don't have that acid. I know this from personal experience. I used to have such bad heartburn that I was eating antacids all day long, and yet I had terrible heartburn. And I was eating healthy. This is your gut, also called your intestines. And if you're like the average American, your gut might have a problem that's causing you to gain weight. No matter how much you exercise or what kind of foods you eat, this problem can also cause bloating, constipation, achy joints, fatigue, lack of mental clarity, and waking up feeling run down. The cause? Foods that you've been told are healthy, like this tomato, for example. As it's digested, the tomato releases a special protein called lectin that can actually cause holes in the delicate lining of your gut.
After 20 years of digestion issues, the last thing I thought would help was a free quiz. But here I am, feeling great and getting tons of compliments from friends and family. The best part, now that I know my digestion type, is that I don't have to give up my favorite foods or make crazy lifestyle changes.
A few years ago, something happened that completely changed the way I think about health. And it all started with a woman who was the picture of fitness. She was athletic, healthy, maintained a stable weight for years without trying. She ate clean, she exercised regularly, she had a consistent routine, and never had trouble keeping the weight off. Then she underwent a medical procedure to treat a gut infection. It was called a stool transplant, a common treatment where doctors transfer gut bacteria from a donor into a patient's body to help restore balance. The procedure worked, the infection cleared, but not long after, something strange happened. She started gaining weight fast. Within a few months, she had gained over 30 pounds, and it kept climbing. And here's the most shocking part. She hadn't changed a thing. Her eating habits, the same. Her workouts, the same. Her daily routine, exactly the same. And yet her body changed dramatically. She developed constant bloating. She craved sugar all the time. She felt foggy, tired, completely out of sync. Her skin broke out. Her mood dipped. Her digestion slowed down. The only thing that had changed was her gut. This wasn't just a strange fluke. It was the clearest evidence I've ever seen that when your gut gets thrown off, everything else goes with it. Your energy, your metabolism, your digestion, your cravings, your ability to burn fat and keep it off. That's why you're telling you. If your gut is out of balance, nothing else you do will work. Not the diets, not the workouts, not the supplements, not even eating clean. Because your gut is more than just a digestive system. It's a control center connected to nearly every part of your health. This woman asked me the other day,
why does eating healthy make me feel worse?
So I told her what I tell all my patients. You're probably eating for the wrong digestion type. So take this quick quiz. It'll show you which foods can actually make your body feel good. It's short, it's free, it doesn't ask for your email. Just answer a few quick questions and you'll find out which digestion type you are. Because here's the thing, what you eat can either calm your gut or trigger it. But it can't do both. But once you know your digestive type, that's when your meals start leaving you energized and not exhausted. And for a lot of people, when the weight starts coming off without the diet properly, based on your results, the quiz will recommend which common foods could actually be irritating your gut. Your ideal food combinations for smoother digestion and sustained energy. And one simple change that can help soothe and strengthen your gut, starting from your very next meal. Click below to find your digestion type now.
Come on. That's Warren Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. When we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion here, what do we teach? We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Final one for 2025, final top 5 Tuesday of 2025. And it's all in relation to the theme that we started yesterday in regards to what you're not going to change. All right, understand this. I'm going to reinforce the message now, and I may or may not get to a live stream later. I do plan on getting there, but again, got a bit of a crazy day today. Got to get back to the school I teach at and all that, so we'll kind of measure the time and all that kind of stuff. So we'll give you the top 5 here, top 5 things that your one and only Move Swiftly speaker is not changing. And again, I want to reinforce the importance of thinking about the things that you will not change. So as you make your goals for 2026 and you establish yourself, you become more established, you stay rooted in the things that actually worked, so you can create measurable goals, not those stupid ass resolutions that the gurus out there like to feed you and take your money in terms of all the weight you're going to lose in the next 2 weeks and how much money you're going to make and what you're going to start doing now. No. We want measurable goals that can be attainable, and it doesn't matter whether it's 2026, 2027, 2028, 2030, motherfucking 15. All right, 3015 is the word. 2,350, whatever it is. I don't care. Sustainable goals, evergreen habits, evergreen principles that you can stand on and actually make a change. All right. So this is what's not changing for your one and only Move Swiftly speaker this year. And again, I encourage you to use the model, use the example I'm going to give you now, and start to apply it in your own life, in your own businesses, and create real opportunities and real growth. All right. First things first, this isn't changing. My passion for running and public speaking and doing these videos right after a run, that will not change. It has created so many opportunities for me. Not just, even though the views, again, whether it's the views or the subscribers, it's not at all about that. It's about continuously practicing and develop my communication skills so I can create opportunities where there were not opportunities. So number 1, the public speaking and the running will not change. Number 2, my aggressive, fun, energetic style of teaching. Understand, I have been in dust-ups, shouting matches with colleagues this year because of the influence and the way that the students that I teach on a daily basis, the way that they look up to me in a way that they don't look up to any other adult. And it has created a lot of tension, a lot of microaggression, a lot of little things that go on in my place of employment that create a very, very tense environment, which is the way it should be. Although you're not hearing me complain about that. I love the tense environment because it forces people to get better. It forces people to actually stay on their P's and Q's. It forces people out of a comfort zone to make sure they're constantly doing the job. So what's not going to change? Because it's the reason I'm still actually employed. The reason I'm still actually employed is because of the fun, energetic, aggressive teaching style that attracts the right people. And when you hear a compliment from me, or when you hear a discard or something, a correction from me, it's all being met with a level, a understanding, with a level of merit. It's a level of merit. It's not just some, oh yeah, really good job, or it's being met with merit-based stuff. And I'm giving you actual factual things that you can do. So number 2, the fun, energetic, aggressive style of teaching. Number 3, my main offer, the main thing I do, which is employee development workshops. All of that is available on makeyourmove.com. It's MakeYamove.com. My main thing is employee development. That's not going to change. And number 4, my retirement plan. The retirement plan was actually, in fact, our retirement plan was 50. So I have about 13 years before I get to 50. But the retirement plan is now getting there to where I can truthfully say I could possibly retire within the next 10 years, possibly less, if I really, really tighten up the budget and I really, really focus on putting the right people in my circle, which I have been doing. So what's not changing is the plan to retire before 50. All right. And then finally, number 5 is again, 1 through 4. Let me go through 1 through 4 real quick before I get to 5, because 5 is the most important one for me personally. Number 1, we're not changing the public speaking and the running, the passion I have for coming on here and speaking authentically with my thoughts. Number 2, we're not changing my aggressive, fun, energetic style of teaching. Number 3, I'm not changing my main offer, which is the employee development workshops. And number 4, my plan to retire within the next decade. All right. Now, number 5, the legacy and the family that I'm hoping to build, that I'm planning on building, the things that I'm leaving behind. That plan does not get in place if I don't do 1 through 4 correctly and make sure I'm in alignment. So the things that I'm not changing, are those 5 principles to make sure everything I do is based and rooted in that soil, that is quality. So you grow something that's actually going to be sustainable and going to be around longer, way longer than you ever will be around. That's what's not changing. And again, I encourage every last one of you as you approach this new year to now really, really do a deep dive on the things that you do not plan on changing, so you can stay rooted into what makes you tick, and then start making real attainable change and putting more quality things into your life. All right. So all that being said, main website, I already mentioned it, but main website to check out to dive deeper into everything I'm all about, everything employee development. It's makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one.
Should your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to Swiftly Built. So good morning, folks. Good afternoon, good whatever time of day you may be tuning into this. And you heard it right, 48 hours away from the new year. And again, if you're regular on this channel, you know that the goals and the mentality of the forward-thinking person that I am, we've already been discussing what we're going to be doing in the new year, to the point where now mentally we're already on the first quarter. We're already like, this is how it's going to be. This is the goals. This is where this is where things started. This is where things are going to be. And there's a focused mindset in terms of what it is we're all about. We don't need to get ready for the new year, because we stay ready. We don't get ready around here. We stay ready. So before I get too deep into the list of top 5 Tuesday today, let me just reintroduce myself to anybody that is new around here, new to this world, new to this channel. You found it, however you found it, be sure you let me know how you found it. Be sure you subscribe, like, comment, share this out to anybody that needs it. Again, anybody that needs that boost, anybody that needs that focus, especially in the world of employee development. That is the world that we are very prolific in here, to say the least. So again, my name, as one Crookshank. I am your one and only Blue Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current six-time published author and educator. I created this whole brand, this whole concept that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and applying them to businesses and business owners, so they have a staff and/or a group of employees that moves as efficiently, as coherently, as passionately, has that eagerness to them. The same eagerness that a championship high school or youth football team has. And that is what we do around here in a nutshell. If you're interested in how to get information on that, all of that is available on makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. Hit the shop now button. And while you're at it, go ahead and get yourself a pre-order a copy of the brand new book that'll be out sometime around March. Taking advantage of that March Madness rush, How to Be a Wintrepreneur. It's a collection of my Medium articles. Will be, not the same thing exactly, but slightly pretty much based on the Medium articles that I'm going to go through one with you today. But also 8 clear steps on how to be a wintrepreneur. Yes, you heard me correct. Wintrepreneur. You can go copy and paste that word wintrepreneur right now, and you will see I'm the only one on the internet using it. It's a kind of a play off the word entrepreneur, but it's all about taking the entrepreneur-minded person, the entrepreneur mindset, the person that has the entrepreneur mindset, but has been fortunate enough to find a job that pays them every 2 weeks, and aligning those needs, aligning those interests, aligning the things, aligning the missions that both of you guys have. That's me in a nutshell. Again, I always tell you guys all the time, I'm the ultimate win entrepreneur. And I added W to it because of the root and the where it's coming from. So again, all that available on makeyourmove.com. All right, let's get into it, man. Top five Tuesday, final top 5 Tuesday of 2025. And it has been one hell of a year. You know, I don't know when it's going to come out, whenever I get the time, but I do have a post that's going to be coming out, just kind of breaking out all of the major lessons that I learned this year. And it has been a great one. All right, I'll just come out and say it. It's been an absolutely incredible one. It's been mental roller coaster after mental roller coaster I went through. I dated 2 single moms this year. My father lived through a hospital scare, and all dad battled cancer. You know, I got a promotion at the actual day job. I do actually have a day job, believe it or not. But I got a promotion there. I ran in, reconnected with an old friend, and you know, she introduced me to an incredible business with incredible people. It has been an up and down year, and I would not have had it any other way. I wouldn't change one thing, would not change one day, not change one decision that I've made all year. And you know, when you're thinking about and you're reflecting on your new year, that should be the mentality. You should be living so authentically and doing things that are feeding you and are growing you and helping you develop to where you could look at it the last couple of days of the new year and say, I would not change one day. I would not, everything I did, every single move, every single decision, every single dollar that was spent, I would not change it, because when you're moving like that, again, it means you're operating with some principles, you're operating with some consistency, and whether the decision was right or wrong, that's not necessarily even up to you. That's going to be something that you and God have to look at, that God comes out and says, hey, it was right, it was wrong, it was what you thought was best at the time. So that's the way you should be looking at your life every day, not just when we're in this holiday spirit and, you know, you got all kind of amped up with ambition and there's a new start. No, every single day, you got to treat every single day as if it is a new year, as if it is, you know, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. The next year isn't guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. So everything about your mindset has to change, right? So that's what I mean when I say, hey, we're not over here in this channel, we're not going to go ahead and pretend like we're making massive changes because it's 2026 now. No, we're going to be consistent in terms of how we operate, consistent in terms of how we do things. So when changes need to happen, it's rooted in the same level of consistency. So you do not take away from the great things that you've already established. We want to change minds, change mindsets around here. Education, it's rooted in education and learning hard lessons as we go. All right. So all that being said, let's jump right into the top 5 Tuesdays. I will hopefully I'll keep it within the 25-minute mark here today. But you know, again, I get to talk, especially when it comes to these topics, you never know. All right. So top 5 Tuesday, top 5 things I'm not changing. And yes, I went back to this image I took when I first put out the book Swiftly, and I went with this image because it is the image of the first one, and I was a trainer at 9 Round then, and I was working towards, I didn't realize it was going to happen like this, but I was going from fitness to education because of COVID and how everything happened, having intellectual property. That guy right there, man, that guy's been on a journey. I look at it now, and it's interesting because the person, so I was working with one of we'll call her Tiger, right? Because when it comes to my former 9 Round members, I don't have permission to use real names unless they give me permission. But anyway, one of the members was a photographer who we were doing like a barter system where I was training her daughter, and she was supposed to do images, like do a Photoshop with me or do like headshots with me or whatever. And she was taking so long to actually get the headshots done that I just went to JCPenney and, you know, I paid my $100 for that headshot. And then she, you know, now she had an attitude with me, and we ended up, you know, we still don't speak actually. We ended up not speaking over that specific thing. So ups and downs, and people are going to come in and out of your life. And this is why I have learned, as you go about things, you have to really focus on the things that you're not going to change, because I mean, her petty bullshit made me realize, hey, these are people that are just around for a season. And when it comes to you and how you operate, you can't have petty bullshit people around you who are so short-sighted in terms of how they think, so short-sighted in terms of the way they feel, so give in to their feelings so easily that you're never going to get anywhere with them. You have got to make, if you're going to change anything for this year, it's making sure you're removing a short-sighted individual who's only covering up problems and doesn't create any longevity. You've got to get rid of those people. They are absolutely toxic individuals for you to have around. So that's where that image came from. All right. So there we go. Change is overrated. Consistency is underrated. Before you decide what you're changing this year, decide what deserves to stay the same. Hear me. Very important point here. Yesterday, as I promised yesterday, on Top 5 Tuesday, I break down the 5 things I'm not changing in 2026. And by protecting those is a real growth strategy. We are 48 hours away from 2026. As promised, every day on this platform, you get a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Today, that perspective is simple but uncomfortable. Hear me, it's uncomfortable. This is an important point. Whenever something is making you uncomfortable, whenever something is bothering you, whenever all the other bullshit things that people like to use as a kind of a negative, when it's actually a positive, when something is bothering you, when something is making you uncomfortable, when something is making you uneasy, it's actually the things that make you stronger, it's actually the things that make you better. It's not something that you want to run away from. It's something that you need to lean into, because when you lean into the opposite shit, when you lean into the stuff that makes you comfortable, you get no results. The results that you get are going to be absolutely boring, and you're just going to hate your life because you don't want to be around it. All right. But the things making you uncomfortable, you conquer those things mentally, and then you get better. That's the key. You got to lean into the things that make you uncomfortable. All right. So instead of obsessing over what to fix, let's talk about what not to change. So 365 days from now, that 365 days from now, we're not shocked, we're not disappointed, or starting over again. The goal is to be happy with the progress and clear-eyed about what still needs improvement. Here we are. Top 5 things I'm not changing in 2026. All right. First thing, my passion for running and public speaking. Let me get the banners together. And get the banners as I go through it. Passion for running and public speaking. This one's important. I don't record a move swiftly thought after a run because it's trendy. Okay. It's not for views. It's not for new subscribers, even though at times, depending on the topic, those things come. And it's definitely not because that's what podcasts do. There's no other podcast that's doing that, right? I do it to capture a moment immediately after physical exertion, all right? When you capture a moment immediately after physical exertion, anybody out there that's a runner that works out regularly can resonate with the feeling that you have right after a workout. And the reason I do it right after a run is because I want to capture that moment so people can feel, and I can bring in the right people into my world, right? When your thoughts are the most honest, unfiltered, and pure. Running isn't just fitness for me. Running is thinking time. Those post-run thoughts are where clarity lives. That's where conviction shows up. That's where you can't fake it. This isn't content. This is real life. I'm not talking in theory. I'm living it. All right. You see me living it. And that authenticity is something I refuse to lose in 2026. That authenticity is what I'm not losing in 2026. Hear me. All right. Now, number 2. Again, I'm going to run through these because I do have to roll out soon. Got to get back to number 2. And this one's actually going to be directly in relation to the school I teach at. So, number 2, my teaching style, energetic, aggressive, fun. Let's be clear. Given the amount of dust-ups, when I say dust-ups, I mean dust-ups me and fellow colleagues, fellow teachers that have been in shouting matches over the past year. This past year, I have gone at it with the people that I work with. And again, it's been multiple situations. And it's the reason, in my opinion, that I got the promotion I got, because I was standing my ground, because I was consistent in the things I was saying, because my side of the argument, quote unquote, was rooted in something that was bigger than both of us, which is always going to be about what's best for the school. That is where I'm always coming from. So the dust ups, the tensions, and the microaggressions I dealt with this year from colleagues One thing that has never been questioned, I was a damn good role model for the student. Meaning, what I'm saying is, all the people that have all this bullshit that they want to say about me, all the talk behind my back, all of them, every single one of those people have to admit, hey, Ash was really, really good with the kids. At that point, the conversation ends. At that point, whatever they have to say, whatever the problem is or may be, doesn't fucking matter at that point, right? What matters is, are you good at what you do? And that is the point I want to make sure we get across. You have got to make a decision at some point, whatever your job is, whatever it is you do, whether you want to have friends or you want to actually be good at the shit you do. At some point, you're going to either have to make that decision or somebody else is going to make it for you. And let me say this one for the back, for the people in the back. At some point, all right, in your employment, wherever you employ, whatever you do for a living, you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to actually be good at what you do or whether you want to have friends or whether you be liked. All right. At some point, you have to make that decision. I don't know when it's going to be. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might come 3 or 4 years from now. I don't know. But at some point, if you want a career, you have to actually ask yourself, do you want to be good at your shit or do you want to just have friends and have work be some fucking social club? That's the question you have to ask yourself at some point. All right. And it's going to be on you to make that decision. Friends are actually being good at what you do. Because again, you're either getting better or you're getting worse every single day. You're not staying the same. And you can consciously choose to get worse because you want to spend your time making friends and being around friends. Or you can say, look, I don't need friends right now. I'm trying to do something significant with my life. I don't want to be friends with these people. I want to just get better. Make your decision. I'll leave it at that. All right. Make your damn decision. Given the amount of dust-ups and microaggressions I dealt with this year from colleagues, again, the reason students respond to me isn't accidental. It's because my teaching style is energetic, aggressive, and fun. If I lose that, I'll make life a lot harder on myself. And more importantly, I rob students of what they need: presence, urgency, and belief. So no, that's not changing. Not for comfort, not for politics, and not for anybody. All right. That's number 2. All right, let me run through number 3. Number 3, my main offer, employee development. What we do around here, again, a lot of different things. And I remember actually me and my ex would talk for hours. I mean, I could recall me and her, we went to the Keys for, was it Labor Day weekend? It was the Keys, and it was the big college football weekend. And we were at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill in the Keys. And I'll never forget this because I was there trying not to talk about myself, not to talk about work, because she would complain about that. But we ended up talking for hours about how I should structure this channel and what I should be focusing on. And again, I did not mean to flip her into this conversation, but that's what we ended up talking about for hours. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy the Miami Notre Dame game that was playing because we ended up talking about what I need to be doing with my YouTube channel, how I need to be doing this, and she had this suggestion, that suggestion, and I just found out that I wasn't allowed to record the podcast at the school I teach at, so me and her were just talking for hours now, to the point, again, we couldn't even enjoy the game. And again, I owe her a lot. I owe her credit for a lot of the things that I've been able to do this year. But we ended up landing on, and I agreed with this part, employee development being my main offer. And I'm all over the place with a lot of different things I do, whether I offer boxing lessons, whether it's children books, whether it's Jeff's books, whether it's public speaking. In terms of what where you're going to plant your flag, it's employee development, because of the acronym SWIFTLY is what was built in. Swiftly, skilled, well-informed front team. And front team lifting yourself. She was someone that I actually told what the acronym was when we first started dating, right? So yes, this one matters. Yeah. And Wealth Builders is the organization that I recently became a part of that really is complementary to what my main offer is. And again, like I was telling you guys yesterday, it was another girl that I met before her that introduced me to the wealth builders business. Now, all of this is going to be straightened out and laid out throughout 2026. I'm sure of it at some point, because this is God literally putting certain women in my life, bringing women back in my life for a specific reason. This is not as one. This is actually God placing certain things in my life. And that's what I truly believe, right? So this one matters. Yes, Wealth Builders opened an incredible door for me with licensing and financial education, but my main offer remains unchanged. $60,000 for employee development system for business owners, a $60,000 employee development system for business owners. Again, you can go check that out on makeitmove.com. I didn't get into entrepreneurship to sell random products. I got into it because I learned through football how championship teams are built. And I saw how badly the same structure was missing in business. Offensive lines, defensive lines, role clarity, accountability, culture, standards. I've opened up a new revenue streams, but I'm staying locked in on the core because the focus is what got me there, okay? That was very, very, very crucial. That was a really, really crucial one because as you get up there in age and as entrepreneurs, we start thinking we can do whatever it is we want. There's all sorts of things that we can offer people, and something comes up, next thing you know, you're able to do it. All right. So yeah, now see, I'm running short on time. Let me run through number 4 real quick. Before 10-year retirement plan. And honestly, given this organization that I got linked with, I mean, we had a meeting yesterday that, opened up a whole realm of possibilities. But the 10-year retirement goal, honestly, it might be 8. No bullshit. No bullshit. The more quality people I meet through wealth builders, the more aggressive and realistic this goal becomes. Learning how to save with intention, use tax advantaged accounts, let money grow quietly. How has changed how I look at everything. I still love wings and conversations with strangers and sports bars, talking college football, but I love watching my accounts grow even more, especially knowing it's happening on a measly educated out. Hear me, and I want to make sure I make this point because I never wanted to have a job, guys. I never wanted to actually have a salary. My name is Aswan Crookshank. Nobody hires. I don't like paying for school, the little bit of student loans that I do have now. I hate paying that shit. I never wanted to actually go and get a job. My whole thing was entrepreneurship. So the fact that I have one is actually, I look at it as just a bonus because mentally I was already in a place where I wanted to be making money based on my own thoughts as it is. So whatever I make at a job is just a matter of, hey, how do I save it? So I never had it to a point where I planned on doing these kinds of things. That's mentality. That's a mentality that was seeped in me, that was working within me. So the retirement plan is there because of the measly educated salary that I have, to where for some people, people couldn't survive off what I make. But for me, the entrepreneur mindset, it's like, a couple thousand more than I actually planned on making outside of what it is I was already doing. That's all mentality, guys. The reality forces one thing to be true. All right. My intellectual property has to be my primary source of income as I approach 40. And that pressure, I welcome it. I love it. I love this part right here. I wrote this. I mean, I remember writing this and just loving that I put it down, pen to paper, and publicly sharing it. My intellectual property has to become my primary income source as I approach 40. And that pressure, I love that pressure. That's what this guy right here, when he wrote this book, that's what that guy wanted. He wanted that kind of pressure to make it so when he raises his family, when he starts his family, when he gets married and gets his house and all that, he's doing it based on what's going on in my mind. So there's a real secure feeling. Now, it takes work to get there, but to take yourself out of this place where you're depending on somebody else, no, I'm not doing that. I've seen that shit happen, and I'm not putting myself in that position. So, and that brings me to number 5. What I want my family to represent. Top five things that are not changing in 2026. And the final thing is, I'm not changing what I want my family to be. All right. And that was the mistake I made. Again, you're speaking to someone now that dated 2, not 1, but was in a relationship with 2 single mothers this past 2 years. All right. And the 2 kids that they have, I will love them unconditionally. It was actually, so one had 2 kids, the other one had just 1 kid who was actually a student. And in terms of the kids, I will love them unconditionally. I want to make sure I'm publicly stating that because I know the 2 of them might run across this video at some point. They're both blocked. So they don't have direct access to me anymore, but I do. They obviously, everyone has access to this. But the 2 kids, the 3 kids that I've met through them, their kids, I will love them unconditionally. And it reinforced what I want my family to represent. I just have to be honest with the fact that they're not my kids and I have to move on. But everything above 1 through 4, everything I talked about through 1 through 4 only works because I'm crystal clear on what I want my family to represent. I'm building towards a family with standards, discipline, faith, health, contribution. That vision demands right there. Hear me? That vision that I have for what I want my family to look like, it demands a sacrifice from me, the leader of the household. The person that has to make these sacrifices has to be the one, not someday, not when it's convenient, now. You don't accidentally build a strong family. You decide every single day. Final word. If you handled your business this year, not everything needs to change. Protect what works. Double down on what's real. Stop chasing what sounds good in January. Happy New Year, folks. My final live stream of the new year. Happy New Year to everyone, man. I cannot wait to jump back on it next week when we're going to be getting into the events and getting into all the great things that are going to be going down in January. Everyone out there, again, a website to check out to dive deeper into everything I'm all about. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Blue Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We'll talk more soon.